Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to another edition of art. And today we're going to start with, this is going to be the card that we're going to be making today. It's a watercolor card that looks like a present, and it says, Mama and Papa, you both are the best gift in life. And for that we will be needing, to make this particular card, you'll be needing a watercolor card. Now this is different to any regular card because it absorbs the watercolor without getting all warped and funny. We're going to make it slightly different than this one. We're going to have another base card, which is like a color card that's going to go behind this one. So it's going to have a nice little red kind of border. And then we have our base card, which is this one. And once the card is completed, we're going to be pasting this one on top of our base card. And this is what it's going to look like. So let's move on without further ado. These are some of the other cards that I have made, and I've recorded tutorials of that, and if you would like that, I will leave a link below in the description box. So yeah, you can watch how to make these ones in my previous videos. And today we're going to start with the watercolor card. This one we're going to make in the next episode. So this is our model, and let's begin. So first things first, the tools that you need, you will need a pot of water, you will need either a rag or a couple of kitchen towels, a pair of scissors, glue, brush, obviously watercolor because this is a watercolor project, a couple of washi tapes, and a small ruler. Okay, let's get started. So in order to start the watercolor process, what we're going to do is we're going to activate our colors by putting a bit of water and leaving it to the side. And then we're going to take our cardstock, the watercolor cardstock, and we are going to decide how big we want our gift to look like. So I'm actually taking just a little bit away from the side. The good thing about washi tape is that it comes off without ripping your watercolor paper. So place your, you have to eyeball it. This looks slightly bent, so I'm just going to redo it. So I'm going to redo that. I'm going to gauge it without making it look a bit too wonky, to the best of your estimation. And then this is going to be the bottom side of the gift, and this is the top side of the gift. Now the reason I'm covering extra part is because I don't want the watercolor going on the other side. It's just to protect the paper. So I just readjusted a bit of my the tape to give it a better, more rectangular shape. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually mixing the watercolor and the water, which I let sit for some time. I'm going to just run by this brush on all of the colors, and then we will start our watercolor project. Okay, so I've mixed my watercolors and I've taped down my watercolor card. And first things first, I'm going to wet my brush, and I'm going to just take the plain water and just put it within the little enclosure that I've made with the washi tape. Nothing too much, nothing too fancy, just plain water. Then I'm going to go with my choice of color and put in my first color in. Now you will see that the watercolor is bleeding, and that is exactly what we want. We don't want rigid lines. We want to have like a bit of color mixing with each other. The next color I'm going to go for is a blue, and again I'm hoping that these lines will eventually mix. The next one is dark blue. How many ever colors you can get within that square will be the right amount of colors that you need. And finally, I think I'm going to stop at that, and it's going to give a nice little touch to the color combination. That's the major part of it. I'm going to leave this to dry. It will take about 5 minutes, or you can use your hairdryer and dry it sooner. So I'm going to wait for it to dry, and once it's dry, I'm going to come back and we're going to resume from there. So I've dried my card, and I'm going to remove the tape gently. Don't go too fast, it might rip. And what that will do is going to give us a definite shape. And there is the basic of our box, which is going to be the gift box. Once you've reached that point, we can start making the rest of the additions to it to make it look like a gift box. For that, we're going to need a few colored pens, preferably markers because they have a more crisp finish. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to make it look like a gift box. What that means is that we're going to put a bit of cross with a marker and a bow on the top. So once it's dry, it's very important that it be dry when you do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a double line and then fill in the double line so that it looks like it's a wrapped present. The good thing about art is that it doesn't have to be perfect. So yeah, if you have little lines here and there, don't worry. The beauty is in the imperfection. Okay, now we're going to put our big bow. Now, over there I use like a knot, but over here I'm going to try to put in like a bow, which has like a massive, and I'm just going to color that in. You can actually use a red color or any other color. In fact, you can even color the ribbon on the box in any color at all. It doesn't really matter. I'm just sticking with this theme right now, and I'm just coloring it in. Just leave a little bit of white space to show it that it's a bow. And then I'm going to color in the tassels. Okay, brilliant. Now, the next step is, again, we will need our watercolor brush, and we will need our colors. And for that, what we're going to do is, we'll need either another brush or a stick, something, because we are going to create these gorgeous speckles that you can see on this card. We're going to create these speckles by gently, nothing too harsh, but gently, it's like little, you'll see, look at that. So we're using our brush, we load it with color, and then we add the speckles to it. Now, I personally like doing 2-3 different colors because when they dry out, they look amazing. If it's just one color, it doesn't show that much. So I'm going to take a blue now, because I've done like in the family of reds and yellows and oranges. So the blue is really going to stick out now. Again, you hold this pen firm, a marker firmly, and then you just tap and you watch as the splatters come on, and they make this beautiful look, like a tiny shower of colors. And one final color I'm going to put in, and I'm going to go with a yellow this time. Again, we don't want a lot of it, we just want to, like, if your brush is loaded with the color, it will make a better splash. If the color is too thick, it's not going to make much of a splash. So the consistency is important. And now we're going with the yellow splash. And we're done. Again, I'm going to wait for it to dry before I can move on and put in my message. And we've pretty much completed the card now. Okay, we have dried the card, and it looks like a massive shower of confetti with all the colors just all mingled up. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add our sentiments. I like saying that my parents are gifts for me because they have done a lot, and I'm sure even your parents do a lot for you. So I would recommend that in your best handwriting, you can write any sentiment, but I'm just going to replicate the one I already did. So it's going to be, and you don't have to go with Mama first every time. You can go with Papa, or you can go with either one. It can be a card for your grandparents, for your parents, and you can choose any color pen, so you don't have to go with my choice of color. The only reason I'm going with a red color pen is because the base or the outline is going to be a bit red. Mom and Papa, you both are the best So that is done, and we're going to move on to the last bit of the whole process, which is we're going to glue this on top of this base card, and then we're going to glue the base card. Actually, it's the border card. We're going to glue the border card onto the base card, and we're going to have a lovely card assembled. We'll start with gluing this card to the base. Once I'm done gluing, we'll come back. So I've glued the card that I worked on, the watercolor card, onto the base or the border color. And now I'm going to take my base card, which is the one you're going to be pasting this on top of, and I'm going to place it in such a way that I get a nice double border. So now I have a red outline and a white outline. Then I'm going to twist over, make sure that the board or the workplace that you're working on is dry and there's no watercolor that could smudge your work. And then you massage the back of the card, and that should press it down good and firm. And alhamdulillah, there is your card. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you make an awesome card for your mom and dad and let them know that you're really grateful for everything that they've done. You can use any color. If you have any other color card that you want to use as your border. I use red because red was available, so I went with that. Plus I had a matching marker to go with it. But if you have any other color, feel free to use that. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you're going to make something awesome. If you would like to share your work with me, I'm going to leave my Instagram account in the description box, and you can send me pictures, upload it, and I will definitely share it with my Instagram community. Thank you so much for taking the time and watching this video. I hope you have a lovely day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.